a boss right now. Talk to the man right now. Oh, yeah. Feel like the man right now.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Miami Dolphins. Danny Amendola on the return. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. Ryan Tannehill will be orchestrating the offense, the top 10 pick back in 2012.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Okay, there's a tone setter. First play from scrimmage, stuff him in the backfield.
You know what they were doing last night in the hotel room? Visualizing exactly that. That's what they were thinking about. Making that play, having leverage, lower than the offensive lineman, getting into the offensive backfield, knocking someone down. Just what you said, set the tone early for this game.
Jeez, you are fired up.
When I see a play like that, I can't help it. Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Miles Jack in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. And, Charles, part of the reason they lost last week, they didn't have a single sack. Well, they changed that quickly.
But did they ever? And it was something they talked about with us extensively. They needed to get pressure. How were they going to get to the quarterback? Obviously, they schemed themselves into a great play, didn't they?
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. A first carry for Leonard Fournette. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. And on the stop defensively, Raekwon McMillan.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28.
Punch right.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So on the big tight end,
Still 2nd down.
Each and every year, we talk about very few tight ends coming into the league that are polished blockers or asked to do it a lot in college. So it's a constant struggle and a constant fight to learn how to do it without holding.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll power his way up near the 25. It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with 3rd down coming up.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look, 6 DBs. Shotgun now for Bortles. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck roll that they can fall back on anymore.
47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Here's Tannehill now on second down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Myles Jack in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
And we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player. Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, fun on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because they say so. And whether it's the script, whether it's, you know, just what they're going through, whether they're seeing different defenses, they're going to have to figure it out as this game moves on.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Leonard Fournette. And he powers his way up past the 30. On the stop there defensively, Tyler Davison.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting third and about 4 to go.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Lucy.
From the gun on third down, Bortles. Now he's hit, and Bortles fumble. It's loose, and the Dolphins have got it. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. They take over 1st and 10 in excellent field position here. Coleman. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover.
And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line. Bortles on the give to Fournette. Oh, Fournette loses it. It's out. But it looked like a Jaguar was able to cover this thing, and so Jacksonville will keep control. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. Bortles to throw on 2nd down. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jags are able to cash in for 6. And when a Hail Mary is completed for a touchdown pass like that, I think any defensive coordinator just puts their face right into their hands.
I don't think there's any doubt about it, and I don't have stats in front of me. I don't have the empirical numbers that say that in recent years the Hail Mary pass has been completed more than it has been, but it feels that way, doesn't it? And I know the defenses are spending more time on it. I think the biggest mistake they make is that they play everything from behind the receiver. I think they've got to start getting people in front as well to try and knock the ball away.
Tannehill and the Dolphins break the huddle. Come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch. And you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Tannehill hands to Drake, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
And this will be taken at the 13. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. From the gun, it's Bortles. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Charles Harris able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We'll come back to Miami after this. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now it's Tannehill. Under pressure, and he's going to go down. Tannehill sacked. Yannick Ngakoue in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. That's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Well, the pressure gets to him again.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He only has a single solo carry, 1. Numero uno. 2nd quarter, they need to get in the ball more, don't they?
I'm not the greatest statistician in the world.
Yeah, you are.
But a back like that with only 1 carry kind of takes me back to college in the classroom. Not enough evidence to declare what you should do the rest of the game. Give him the ball some more and find out.
Will they incorporate him? We'll find out. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on first and second down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what?
Well, when this ball's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Rashawn Jones. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air. And then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
After the interception, here's Tannehill. Looking left side, and it's complete. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now a first down throw, Tannehill. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. Miles Jack in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. On second down, here's Tannehill. And this will be incomplete. He was looking that time for Stills, and it's 3rd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. And Forbath will put this one through, and they are on the board, trailing now 6-3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
This one taken from the 7. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to try and go deep again. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top. This one fielded at the 5. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, he's got some breathing room. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. The tackle that time by William Hayes. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And the catch made here by Marquise Lee. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That one goes for 36 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball in the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it, and he'll take this one in for a Jags touchdown. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars add 6 to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second half?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. To throw on second down is Tannehill. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Miles Jack. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. And the trick play doesn't work. Good reaction there defensively, and it'll be 4th down. Dancing away at the 35. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. Now the Jags will have great field position to start this drive as they take over on the short side of the field. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Now they'll run it on the toss. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
He'll drop to throw. Left side complete, Safarian Jenkins. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Cole. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling.
We always hear about guys wanting to make plays that quiet a crowd.
Yeah.
After that one.
Here in the 3rd quarter, they were hoping to get the stop, get the football back. Not the case.
What a completion on a 4th down play.
That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. Marquise Lee, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Jaguars add on to their lead. And his kick is right through. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football, but they trail here as we get set for the 4th. Draw play. Tannehill gives to Drake. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. 3rd and long, it's Tannehill. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Miles Jack in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
Now, we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks. And they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. Now they'll run it on the toss. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
3rd down, here's McCaffrey. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves them looking at a 4th down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
He'll look to throw. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. The Jags come up empty on 4th down. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, if I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear people protest out of them. That's just who they are. What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry. Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had...
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Miles Jack in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well. It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Ken Crawley. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
Take 4, take 4. Back.
Another run, this time McCaffrey. And an alley to run. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.